Welcome to the MVP Show. Today we're chatting with Nadeeja, a two-time MVP living in Melbourne, Australia. Nadeeja originally came from Sri Lanka, but has been living abroad in Australia for some time. I look forward to hearing about his transition and finding out more about how Nadeeja is giving back to the community in Sri Lanka and developments with Dynamics 365. Full show notes can be found at nz365guy.com/76. Now on with the show. Welcome to the MVP Show. I'm here with Nadeeja. Nadeeja, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you, Mark. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. It's a bright day in London. The weather is not too bad, but probably nothing like the heat that you've got in Melbourne at the moment. Is that right?
That's correct. There's bushfires everywhere these days.
Wow. That's always the hard thing, right? About summer in Australia, it gets so hot that the place catches on fire. Yeah. So tell me a bit about you, as in, so who are you outside of, we know you're an MVP. We know that you're a consultant in the Dynamics and Power Platform space. But tell us a bit about what you do when you're kind of not working.
I'm a father. I think when I'm not working, I try my best to spend time with my family. So I have my wife Suwani and two kids, Dinel and Tinara. My son is 11 years old. My daughter is 6 years old. So there's a lot going on with those two, with all the extra activities and things like that. So so most of the time that I don't, which is not a lot of time really, that I spend outside of work is really spending time with the family.
And that totally makes sense, right? When you got kids, they've got to be your focus, I suppose, as they're growing up. So you don't do any other hobbies outside family, though?
It's not a lot. It's mainly, we do a lot of catch-ups with friends and, barbecue. And recently I caught up with some of my school friends from Sri Lanka. It's believe it or not, they're like 20-something people from my batch living in Melbourne. So we caught up for a barbecue and played a cricket match. So that was good fun. Yeah, so it's really, catching up with friends. Just try to chill out as much as I can when I'm not working.
Sounds good. So you mentioned Sri Lanka there. So you come from Sri Lanka. Can you tell me a bit about, how you ended up moving to Australia, and tell me a bit about what was home life like for you in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, it's very interesting because I never meant to or had plans to come to Australia. So those days, we had a civil war for a number of years. So the local universities, they were closed for closed time to time because of the troubles we had then. So after high school, when we ready to go to university, we couldn't actually go because universities were a couple of years behind. So my brother said, hey, while you're waiting, maybe you should go to this private university in Colombo. And I was planning to sort of spend a couple of years there and then move to the local university, the government university in there. So when I went there, I met my wife, now my wife, and she was planning to go to US after that. So after we met, we decided, hey, we should go to Australia. So the whole thing changed, all the plans changed, and we end up coming here, and we transferred from that university, and we both went to Monash University in Clayton, Melbourne. So that's how we moved here.
How did Australia, get on your radar? Like, if you're thinking about the US, did you meet people? Did you read about it? What made you think Australia might be the place for you?
Yeah, so I had some friends in Australia. I had some in US as well. Really, I mean, to be honest, at that time, the US was a lot more expensive. So I got into some universities in US as well. But then we thought, Australia is much better country, I think, to live and have a family, and It's a developed country. At the time, it was a lot more cost effective as well. So we thought, why not Australia? Yeah. So we talked to some friends and they said, this is doing really great and there's a lot of opportunity here. So we thought, yeah, why not? Let's just go.
And so you've obviously gone right down, you're now an Australian citizen, is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah. I knew you must be because I'm pretty sure that when I worked with you, you had MV1 clearance, didn't you, with
right.
federal government. For those listening,
That's
NV1
right.
stands for negative vetting. One, which is a first level of security. Is it the first levels or is baseline? Is NV1 baseline security clearance?
No, so there's a baseline clearance, and then there's a NV1. I think it used to be called top secret, and then there's another level higher, which is NV2, which is even more high security clearance.
So basically, this allows you to work on government projects that have a classification. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Because I used to work in Canberra, which is which is the sort of Washington DC for for Australia. So I used to work in a lot of federal government projects, so defense and human services and infrastructure. So when you're working in federal government projects, you have to have minimum baseline clearance, and especially for defense, you must have NV1 or higher clearance.
Very good, very good. So do you, just back to Sri Lanka, do you get home much? Do you go back to visit?
I do. So I think I went to Sri Lanka this December, last December. I try to go there every, at least 2 to 3 years. So because December is our main holiday in Australia. So I try to plan my holidays. Sometimes I go to Sri Lanka, and other times maybe alternatively go somewhere else, just to travel the world and see places. But I try to go there with my mum, and my sister and brother still lives there. So this time was interesting. It was sort of holiday and sort of partly community work as well.
So what were you doing on the community side of things?
Yeah, so I think, like I organized, the CRM Saturday and now D365 Saturday events in Australia. And there's in Melbourne, there's a lot of Sri Lankan, born consultants. And there's a large number of consultants here. So I thought, I want to sort of find out how the Sri Lankan, in Sri Lanka, how they're doing, and just to share the knowledge and promote the product and see what they try and generate more interest to the Dynamics platform. So I thought why not do one in Colombo. So I organized one in there. It was quite successful. We had large number of registrations. We had about 150-60 attendees. So that was pretty good. They do a lot of Dynamics Nav there, but not so much of finance and operations or customer engagement as much.
Wow. Why do you think that is?
I think there's a lot of manufacturing there, so they have and NAV is sort of a bit more cost effective than FinOps, finance and operations, so they tend to go to NAV. So because of the there's a lot of garment factories, there's lots of other manufacturing, and so that ERP side is quite popular. But there's a lot of opportunity with the Power Platform, so I thought maybe I should get involved and really try to give back to where I came from, and that was very well received. So we had some local partners sponsoring the event. We had actually other partners, like we had Magnetism and Kingsairsoft supporting the events, which was fantastic. So that was great. It was a great day, and we had lots of speakers. Yeah, so it was very well received. It's a lot of work, especially when you do it for the first time. Um, it, there's people going to think, is it going to work? And is people going to turn up? Because it was January 2nd, and technically the first day of the year, so that was a bit tough. But still, there were so many people coming in, so that was fantastic.
So do you feel in setting that up and establishing it that you are, was there already a community, already in Sri Lanka, or particularly in Colombo? Was there already, do they read regularly or anything like that? Or do you see that there's an opportunity to, perhaps establish a user group up there as well, and really grow, the opportunity for those up there?
Yeah, so I think there was a number of times, I think some people tried to sort of organize different events, but wasn't very, very successful. But there's a lot of people saying, we should really do this, once a month. We should catch up. We should kind of generate a lot more closer community. And they are hungry for it. They see the value of that. I think there's definitely an opportunity to create a user group there. There's a lot of great talent there. I mean, it's not just about sort of servicing the local market. It was because there are a lot of companies there, supporting other companies.
Like, is it basically an outsourced type operation for international companies? Yeah.
Also, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So there are some companies. So one of the sponsors, they actually do that. They have customers the other Microsoft partners in US, UK, and they supplement their teams from Sri Lanka, and they also have product development for for the Dynamics platform. So there's a lot of good talent, and there's opportunity there. So because the whole Dynamics and the Power Platform, there's a lot of demand, and we in Australia, we're really struggling to find good people, because there's heaps of demand, but just simply not enough people. So the idea was to generate that interest and get people to sort of learn the platform. And more people learn.
Yeah, totally. That's so interesting. So how mature do you think the skill sets are in Sri Lanka?
Yeah, so there's a lot of I guess knowledge in .NET and JavaScript and those core languages. It's just that there's not a lot of people who are trained in Dynamics and the Power Platform. So that was the key sort of purpose, is to try and encourage and show what we can do. There's a lot of opportunity there for people to make good money and great living there. So that was the main thing. So there's really a lot of technical skills there. And the language is pretty good as well. There's its primary language is either Sinhalese or Tamil, but there's in universities everyone learn in English, and English is a second language. So there's a lot of people speak quite well. So so there's a lot of people come from Sri Lanka, worked in Sri Lanka. It's actually in my team as well, and they're doing really well. So
at some point I have to go to Sri Lanka and visit and see that country, because my nephew, of course, is Sri Lankan, and my I've got two grandnephews, I suppose you'd call them in a way, which are at least half Sri Lankan, half Kiwi, being that my nephew married my niece in New Zealand, Guyan Pereira, and so who's of did you not know that Guyan's my nephew? Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I know Gahan, but
Yeah,
I didn't
so
know
he,
he's a nephew.
of
Oh, wow.
course, was one of your sponsors there from Magnetism for that event. So,
Yes.
yeah, I'm very keen to get there. You know, Guy and I used to flat together for ages, and so heard about Sri Lanka quite a bit. During those times. But if I go there, kind of, what are the top 5 things that I need to see and visit and eat when I go to Sri Lanka?
Yeah, Sri Lanka is an interesting place because it's very small, but the beaches are great. So in the southern beaches is quite popular. So there's this goal, and there's near my wife's place where it's called Matara, and there's a beach called Mirissa that's very popular with tourists. And East Coast is quite nice as well. It's for a long time, because there was the sort of the civil war. This east side was not touched for a long time. But now there's a lot of nice hotels and building up. So there's this nice place to stay at the beach and relax. And then there's a lot of wildlife as well. There's rainforests. So if you're up for that kind of things, then you can go to this rainforest called Singaraja, and there's another sort of area where you can go see elephants and all the wild elephants and animals. So there's that nature side of it. And when you go to sort of the middle of the country, it's called Kandy, and weather is really nice. It's like every day it's about 25, 26, 28 degrees throughout the year. So the weather is fantastic. It's not as hot as Colombo. Colombo can be quite hot and humid, and but
I've been to
Kandy is
Colombo
really
before,
nice.
and I just couldn't believe the sweat pouring off me. Yeah, it was a crazy. Yeah, just
I have the
incredible.
same. I have the same when I go there, especially if you go there in April. That's the hottest time. It's you're just sweating and sweating.
So is there some highlands, kind of more mountainous parts of it, with the jungle? Yeah.
Yeah, so the Kandy, Kandy is highland, so it's reasonably high, and there's another area called Nuwara. So Nuwara is the sort of the highest, and the tallest mountain is called Piduru Talagala. It's about 2,000 meters tall. Yeah, even though it's a small country, it's not like it's a small island. It's not flat. There's a diverse in geography. Now the last thing, I guess, is the ancient ruins. So we have a very long history, and if you go sort of north of the country, you see a lot of old civilizations, and they all the buildings and all their ruins. And if you like history, there's a lot to see. And when we went there, we went to Sigiriya. It is like a massive rock, but there was a castle inside, and there's a lot of engineering done. This is thousands of years ago, which is really fantastic. Amazing to see how how did they build these things that long ago. So there's lots of different things. I mean, food wise, wherever you go, I guess you can get a good curry. So it's interesting. When I went there, there's an Australian guy who has their own restaurant in Sri Lanka, and there was like it was like Saturday night. There were like 250 people, foreigners, coming in, and so it was really good. The food was great, but obviously the cooks were locals, and so there's a lot of activities you can do. And you can do a lot of whale watching as well.
Something you can
That's
do a lot
quite
of in
popular.
Australia as well, right?
Yeah. So there's whale watching and dolphin watching, and you can do that kind of stuff. So there's a lot you can do.
So tell us about what are your plans for D365 Saturday in Australia this year?
Yes. So this year, so we're planning to organize similar to last year in July. So last year we did three events in Melbourne, Sydney, and Perth. Now this year we're trying to figure out if we can make it to another city. We haven't
So
decided
Darwin?
which one yet, but probably not. Probably not. We were thinking either Brisbane or Adelaide. So both cities are quite. There's a lot going on in dynamic space. So we'll So depending on the funds and how much we can find. And this, I mean, as you know, it's big. You have to put a lot of effort to organizing these. So Melbourne and Sydney and Perth, we've done it. Especially Melbourne and Sydney, we've done it a few times, so we're quite comfortable with those. So we're going to kick off and reach out to our sponsor, usual sponsors and new sponsors, and trying to get some funds.
And you're also involved in the user group in Melbourne. How's that? You've done that for some years, even running that. So, how do you find that from a monthly perspective?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, because CRM Saturday or 365 Saturday is a sort of bigger event with lots of people coming in, and but the monthly one's a bit more relaxed and more casual. So we get to meet our they're all our friends. They're coming from different partners and customers. To hang out and have some pizza. So that's a bit more relaxed environment. So actually this month in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna present as well, and so it's a great opportunity for a lot of us that trying to get in front of people and talk. And I mean that's one of the reasons I sort of joined the community. It's a friendly group of people, and it gives us an opportunity to do talk in front of the sort of a smaller group. So, and we try to get more new speakers as much as possible, and often we have regulars as well.
Wow, that's so good. So you're actually doing a heck of a lot in the community with the 365 Saturdays or D365 Saturdays, as well as the user groups. What advice do you have to other people that kind of want to contribute more in the community?
I guess it's really you have to have the passion for it. So it's really about you love the product. You want to learn more about the product. You need to be curious, and because there's a tons of things happening every month. There's something new comes up, so you really can't really survive in this industry if you're not learning every single day. So that's the main thing. So when you organizing these kind of things, it's really, you have to think about why you're doing this, right? So I mean, for me, it's really about sharing what I know and creating an opportunity to others to share. That way, overall community it grows. So it's not just the partners, right? So we're sharing our knowledge with other partners, even our competitors. But that doesn't really matter, because one day you might be in that place, and you sharing your knowledge with your customers, and the customers understand there's a vibrant community, and they are more likely to work or select Dynamics or another product. And more customers use Dynamics, better for everyone. So we get more work, we have better job security. So it's a full cycle, right? So you learning and you sharing, and in some other way, you actually get the benefit, even though it's not a direct benefit. So that's the main thing. So just focus on, learning and sharing is the key thing. Just focus on that, and everything else just falls into place.
Nadeeja, it's been great talking to you. I just want to move on and get some quick-fire questions done with you before we close up. So, first of all, what's your favorite app that you have on your phone?
LinkedIn.
Is that right? Tell me, how do you typically use it?
Yeah, so LinkedIn, I use it to, I guess, really to share the content about Dynamics, really. And also to share, some achievements and sort of events that we do as a team. So and the community activities. So that's one of my main use of LinkedIn, and also to see what other people are doing, because I do follow a lot of other people like you and lots of other MVPs, and they put a lot of posts about all the new things that's coming up. So it's a learning tool for me, because you get a lot of articles that's coming up every day, and then I do a quick read through them, and when you go on when you're on the train or on the tram, and you learn a lot from that. So it's a really learning tool, plus sharing just.
How do you stay productive?
Now, this is an interesting one. So when I especially when I started at Velrada, so I have a lot of responsibilities. So I'm a billable consultant in a number of projects. I had to, find good people and build a team, and look after those things, and pre-sales. So there's a lot of things going on every day to day. So it's really about prioritizing the work. So just focus on what's really important, for the at that time, and just plan out and delegate as much as possible. So just give responsibility to the rest of the team as well. So in one way, it takes the load off me, and also it'll give opportunity for the others to take more leadership as well.
Nadeeja, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. If people want to connect with you online, where's the best place they can find you?
Best place is, I think, LinkedIn. So I use LinkedIn and Messenger, and I'm on Twitter as well. So, and my blog, it's on dyn365apps.com. So in there, you got all my contact details in my blog posts. And so that's the best way.
Hey, thanks for listening. Each year, I mentor people in the community that want to develop their careers in Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform. If you want to be mentored, visit nz365guy.com/90daymc or go to the mentoring menu on the site. Check out testimonials from people that attended last year, also on that page. The program runs for 90 days and starts on the April 1st, so sign up today if you would like to be involved. Full show notes, you can visit nz365guy.com/76. See you next week.